Hi, Maqsood. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining in today's interview. How are you doing today?
Very good afternoon, Shubho. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So, Maqsood, before we proceed, can you give a brief introduction about yourself?
Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Sheikh Maqsood. Basically, I'm from Aurangabad. Uh, I have completed my graduation from Sir Syed College, Aurangabad. And about my work experience, I'm currently working with Teleperformance as a Tableau developer. And my job role over there is to create dashboards and um, uh, create dashboards, uh,
Mhm.
create dashboards and make a track of the different projects, keeping track of different projects, creating new projects as per the client requirements,
Mhm.
getting in touch with them, and helping my team with to create data reports.
That's great. So, if I have to ask you to describe your day-to-day work activities, that means once you go to your office or when you are working for your office at home as well, what are the daily routine that you follow in your office? What are the things that you do?
Sure. So basically, when we go to office or we start work from home, so in that we first of all check whether whatever the work is we have got. First of all, we check our emails. So in emails, if we are getting any work from the client side, if they have given any projects to work on, so I basically check that projects. So what are the requirements for that projects? Uh, uh, I check with them, and if they have whatever they are asking, if if it is okay with they have given all the conditions and parameters, whatever they are given, uh, if it is getting all it is getting sorted, so I am proceeding that project to a raw file into a visual graphical and visual mm, display dashboard. So basically I do this when I go work in my daily routine.
So, as you mentioned that the clients send you an email, right, to
Yes.
prepare a project, means so there is no project manager, means how the work gets means the client sends you the email directly or it comes through
So
project manager. And you also mentioned
actually,
about a raw file, means how, what is that file all about?
the files which are for example, I would like to add in, like they are having different data sources. We have one project that is of voice process. So in that, how many calls with that they have answered, and how many calls got abundant, what is the AST of that. So that comes into an Excel file. So then after that files coming to us, actually it doesn't come directly to us. It comes us through our manager, project manager, and we are copied into that. We are in CC. So before, as he also sent us that we have to work with the all the points which we need to be mentioned in that. And again, we also study for that, okay, what we can add in it, and what we can how attractive that dashboard can be made from us.
Right. So every day you receive an Excel file related to the data that you mentioned for the voice process, like how many calls they received, how many, how much is the ACW, AHT that you mentioned. Every day this file gets generated and sent to you to prepare
Ye-
it through a dashboard?
Yes, definitely. Then we receive this file daily. On daily basis, we have to keep a track of that and update in the visual formats, and
So
we have to
since
send it this.
Mhm. Okay, so
Yeah,
since you mentioned you are working as a Tableau developer, don't you think that it is not justifying your role properly, because Tableau reports can be published, right? Once the logic is
yeah,
set, it's set. You do not have to
right.
prepare the report on a daily basis. If your Tableau is connected to the data source or the database, then the report will be prepared automatically. Means why you are working every day on the same report?
So it is not like that we are working on the same report every day, but we have to check whether the reports, whatever we are, if uh, as we there are many colleagues which work on the report, so whether we have to verify that whether the report is getting properly, it is correctly published or not. If by updating anything, so is there any, we have to just check whether is there any mistakes or not, so just we have to
Mhm.
rectify that.
Okay, that's fine. So, since you have applied for this position, what experience do you have that you think would be relevant to this role?
About my experience, so whenever we have a client calls, or whenever we have a clients on our side, so I always used to prepare dashboards, and uh, I always create new dashboards. So in that we have we can mention, and we can show the what where the our process is, whether it is in loss or profit, and how can we improve that. So I create uh, different types of ppt as well as this reports.
Okay, so what do you like the most about the job that you're doing?
So there are many things that I like in my job. I uh, regularly we have the new reports which are the requirements. Whenever now every now and then they ask us for a new reports, or they want from uh, different data from different reports. So we publish it as per their requirements, and whatever they need, we fulfill their requirements.
How many types of databases that you have worked with?
uh, the different types of database. There is AWS, and
Mhm.
SQL, and SQL Access, VB Access, Excel.
Okay, that's great. So why you are looking for a change at the moment?
Actually, I'm looking for a job change due to pandemic. We have uh, our company was uh, uh, looking for a cost cutting. So
Mhm.
in that, there there also, if there is no performance in, they are also trying to reduce their FTs. So better to be on safe side, if I'm looking for a job change. Mm, so I'm looking for a job right now.
Okay, that's great. Um, so Maqsood, I'll be asking you a few questions related to Tableau, and just need to check how hands-on are you with the software. So what is the
Sure.
version of Tableau that you are using?
Currently, we are using 2021.4. That's the new Tableau version.
Okay, and what are the differences do you check in the new version compared to the old versions?
Mm, so as checked, the we have the speed of that is increased.
Speed of what?
It is more speed of the the performance of that Tableau is in now more faster than the previous one.
Why do you say
And
so? How do you measure the
so
performance?
by checking into that help system, help toolbar.
But going to the help toolbar will actually give you the visualization of the logics that you are building, and based on those logics, how Tableau is performing. So it depends upon you, right? The performance. So how the new version is helping to increase the performance.
Actually, even after taking many huge data also, so it is not taking that much time that was using in the previous versions.
Why do you think that it is not using that much time? What made you believe that it is not taking? Suppose I am taking a million data set in suppose say 2021.3, and I'm taking the same data set for 2021.4. I'm using the same logic and everything same. So will we find a difference in the performance in both the versions?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Okay. Are you sure about it?
Yeah, I need to check it once. So,
Okay. So what do you think that Tableau can't do? What are the limitations of Tableau? Or do you think it's perfect?
the limitations of Tableau are it is it is not a can say the secure. It is not still updated as a security thing.
Why is it not secured? Then why organizations are using it to handle millions of data sets? Why do you think that it's not secured?
I'm so sorry. I doesn't mean that to say. The problem was that there is what I can say.
So what
So,
is the
so
feature that you would like to include to ensure that the security is good? Means what do you think uh, you need to include? Means you had been using Tableau since so many years, and you are
right.
still thinking that there are chances of improvements. So tell me one point that will actually make ensure that Tableau will improve a bit.
Yeah. Actually, adding features are features actually Tableau is an amazing software. I can't point out any drawback or something, but again in if you're asking me for
Mhm.
adding an additional feature in that, so uh, I would like to suggest it should be more compact.
More compact. Okay. Okay, it was not that clear, but it's fine. Not a problem. So suppose a data set is given to you.
Okay.
How will you understand which data set are my measures and which data set are my dimensions?
Okay, so first of all, if I'm working in a Tableau, so as soon as I add that Tableau to that data source to the Tableau, it is so smart that it directly distributes it into two different parts, categories, not categories, but two different parts that is dimensions and measures. So dimensions will be the uh, values, the text part or date and time that will be converted into a dimensions, and measures will be that can be aggregated.
Okay, so dimensions are aggregated.
Yeah. No, sorry, measures are aggregated. Dimensions are textual values.
Dimensions are textual values.
Yes.
Suppose ID number is there.
Sorry.
Suppose ID number is there. Okay, employee ID. So is
Yes.
employee ID a dimension or a measure?
Is a dimension.
But it is not textual. It is a
So
number, right?
it comes under a whole number, na?
So it is not a text. It's a number.
No.
Comes under number.
Yeah. So
So
number. We have different types of
mhm,
data types, na? So in that first is text, other is whole number, then is
mhm.
geographic. Geographic is there. Then again date time, date
But you
and date time.
mentioned dimensions are text.
No, it is not text. Dimension is not exactly the
Okay.
text.
It can be anything. Can measures be geographic?
Measures.
Okay, not a problem. So I guess since you mentioned too much about different kinds of dashboards that you build in your day-to-day life, I would like to know
Yes.
that how many dashboards you might have built till date.
Mm, it's around 40 to 50
40 to 50
approx.
dashboards. That's awesome. So how do you design a dashboard?
For designing a dashboard, first of all, we need to work on our workbooks,
Hmm.
worksheets.
Hmm.
So in that, there are different types of dimensions and measures which we get. We have to first of all add it raw data, whatever is the data source. We need to connect it to the Tableau, and then after
Hmm.
connecting to Tableau, we get different types. That is, whatever the sheets are there in the raw sheet, we can get in that to uh, uh, in the worksheets. So the and dimensions and measures are automatically divided into two parts. So
No,
and
first,
after
I do
that,
not want to know from the scratch what is happening when you connect to means Tableau software to any data source. I want to know
okay,
about the dashboard. Means what are, tell me 3 points that you keep in your mind when you are preparing a dashboard.
okay. So first of all, uh, I always take care the visualization of the dashboard should be clear and loud and clear. That means it should be uh, if any layman is seeing that dashboard, he should understand what is the data about and what it is saying.
Hmm.
So first of all, that is the thing. The main motto
Okay.
is to clear the vision of the clear the vision. What is the data for? What the
Hmm.
data is for? Okay, and then that dashboard, if I'm presenting to someone, that should be a user friendly. That means and user can be able to uh, check all the whatever he is able to see. He want, for example, I would like to say, if he want to change the region or a category or subcategory, so he can uh, he can check it, he can change it through the filters, and it should be a user friendly.
Okay, so you mentioned it should be user friendly, it should be nice, loud and clear. And
Yeah.
what is the third point that you mentioned? Or
And the third point, I would see that um, and it should be yeah, if the data is if I'm working on the dashboard, it should be more. They should be having more functions. We can send in dashboard. There should be more options to look into it.
More
In
functions.
terms of
So don't you think when
visualization.
you infill a lot of functionality in a dashboard, it actually reduces the performance of it? How do you handle such scenario if you have to include a
Uh,
lot of functionalities? What do you do?
we majorly use uh, um, we usually use booleans, booleans or uh, uh, extra. We always used to make booleans and use booleans, true or false statements to improve the functions, and we use extracts in that. So for improving the performance, extract would be good for us.
So
And
booleans, you as you mentioned that booleans true and false. Booleans is a data type, right?
yeah,
How it will help in performance? Means what does it do? What does it do to ensure that the performance of dashboard is enhanced?
mm, so if we are using complex calculations in that,
Mm-hmm.
for example, we are giving many of the commands to the by writing long queries.
Mm-hmm.
So so the automatically the performance of that Tableau reduces, because it takes much longer time to run that query.
Mm-hmm.
And while we are as we are stating it true and false, so it works more faster than the complex calculations.
Can we write custom query in Tableau?
Mm, I'm sorry, I'm not able to get
Okay.
that custom query in the sense.
And suppose you have to write my own SQL query. Can I write it instead of the functionalities that are provided in Tableau? If I have to get my calculations done or retrieve my data, writing some custom queries, is it possible in Tableau?
Yeah, if you are using the calculated fields, yes, you can definitely use that custom queries.
Okay. So you're saying if I open a calculated field, if I write select star from table, will I get the data?
No, you won't be,
Why not?
because it's a calculated field. So we can give them command. We can't write in that.
Are you sure?
This, yeah.
Okay, I'll ask you to check after the interview. Anyways,
Okay.
awesome. So, right. So as you mentioned that you mentioned something about to improve the performance, we will use extract, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So, and also you mentioned about filters. So can you help me with the flow of filter in Tableau?
Mm, flow of filter.
Mhm. How does filters work it at different sections? Where does it work at first? Second, what type of filters? Third, where should be the filters? So the flow of filter.
Okay. So first, we can use our filters at the data extract filter. So
Mhm.
the first filter we can, when we are joining the data from that data source page only, we have
Mhm.
a option to add filters.
Mhm.
So whatever filter, whenever we select that add filter, we have an option. We get a checklist, what filters, what data we need, so we can add from that filters.
Mhm.
Mm, yeah, and later that. then whatever we select,
Okay,
we get
that's your extract filter. Then after that,
right. And then is data source filter.
mm-hmm.
We can use that filter in the data source itself.
So what's the difference between extract filter and data source filter?
And
Did,
extract filter only works on extract filter. Sorry,
extract
and
filter
only
name will always
sorry,
be extract. Both are working on the data
sorry,
source level, right?
right.
So,
Yeah, but
mhm,
sorry. So that extract filter will work only on extract data source,
mhm.
and data source filter can be worked on uh, both live as well as extract.
Okay. So that's fine. Extract filter will, because the name only suggests it's extract filter, it will work on. So it's a very obvious difference that you mentioned. But what will happen? Suppose I'm connecting to an extracted data. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Suppose I'm working with an extracted data. Okay.
Okay,
And I want to use both extract filter as well as data source filter. So
okay.
now tell me the difference, that what is the difference between extract filter and data source filter. And my data source is an extracted data source. Okay.
Okay.
So what will happen if I use a data source filter? What will happen if I use an extract filter?
Uh, so if you are using extract data, so the extract filter in the extract
Mm-hmm.
am I audible?
Yeah, your internet is not that great, I guess. So your voice is breaking up in between.
I'm sorry for that, but
Yeah, you're audible now. Yeah, tell me.
okay. So basically, for extract filters, we use the extract data source, and for data source filter, and that is used for extract as well as live.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
my question was, I'm using an extracted data source. Now I want to use
Okay.
both the filters, extract filter and as well as data source filter. So now tell me the difference. What will be the difference between the two? Means if I put extract filter, what happens? And if I put data source filter, what happens? Definitely some filtering will happen. But on what level? My question is exactly on what level that filter that data is filtered out.
Mm, I'm sorry for this. Right now, I'm not
Okay,
able to.
not a problem. Have you used context filter?
Yes, I have.
Can you tell me what is context filter?
Yeah. So context filters are basically when we want a particular data. For example, if we are having some category and subcategory. So from category furniture, how many subcategories are there? We have to check. We have to check whether how many subcategories are there in the furniture category. So we use that context filter by adding it to context. We can take it to we can take subcategory to the this we can give them conditions in that in top 10, if you want top 10, uh,
In filters, can we give condition?
yes, in filters we can give conditions.
Okay, right. So Now my question basically, I think you were trying to say cascading filter. That is not context filter. If you have to check subcategory of a specific category, then that will be not a context filter.
Yeah, but as I checked yesterday only, so while I was working on one of
Mhm,
my files, so I was working on the context filter.
mhm,
So whether if we are taking but we have to take two filters in that filter mark. Okay.
mhm,
So in that first we'll take our category,
mhm.
then again we will take subcategory, then add to context. When we'll add to context, then it shows in the
Right,
canvas that for furniture we get an option to select that.
right, right.
Yeah.
So my question will now be, uh, you are using two dimensions to ensure that it's a context.
Right.
Suppose I'm using only
Okay.
one filter. Can I make it a context filter?
No, you can't,
Why?
because we need someone, for example, there is a subcategory, so we need
Dependency.
category as well.
So
Dependency,
there
right?
should be a
We
dependency,
need
only then a
dependency,
context filter will work.
right?
Okay, okay. So what is the difference between a parameter and a filter?
So parameter filter is the filter is basically is a straightforward we have a straightforward feature in the Tableau. We can directly filter many things as we want. For example, we need category or subcategory. We can directly put that dimension into that filter marker, and then from there, after telling after clicking on that show filters, we can directly uh, select what we want from our side. So
Mhm.
there are many options in that, like hovering that there is a radio button, and a multiple selection option over there in the filter option. And in parameters, parameters are variables basically, so we can use it for complex calculations.
Okay, so what is the difference? I asked about the difference between the two. You are telling the definition.
Yeah. So so for in that as in filters we can have multiple options selected. In parameters we have only one single value.
Okay, okay. So multiple options are not possible in parameters, you're saying, right?
Right.
Okay, great. Have you used bin in Tableau?
Yes, I have used bin in my previous projects.
What is bin?
So in that bin is a condition where we can uh, mention that for example we have a age condition. We can take it as an age condition. So in that there are different type of buckets, so we can mention it. We can uh, condition them basically, that from 1 to 10 years, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, that can be defined to a different ways.
So you mentioned bin as a condition. It's a strong statement that you mentioned. So why bin can, how can bin be a condition? Bin, right? Um it can be, basically
Graph,
bins are
it is
not conditions. Those are called
graph.
containers, not graph. It's a
Okay,
container. Okay, so it's a
okay.
container of equal size, which is basically used to store data values. Okay,
Okay.
right. So anyways, have we used sets in Tableau?
Yes, I have used sets in Tableau. So in sets, we have and we can give conditions for top 5 or top 10. So for example, if we want to know the uh, sales in the top 5 5 and the top 10 sales in the region wise, so we can create a set create a set in that.
Okay, I have a logical question for you.
Okay.
Suppose there is a data set, okay, and we have a number of employees are there,
Okay.
and all the employees are making some kind of sales. If I have to check top 5 and the bottom 5 sales on a single graph, the other data shown
Okay.
shouldn't be there.
Okay.
How will you achieve that?
Okay, so first of all, I'll create a set that is top. I'll create a calculated field, top
Mm-hmm.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll give them condition uh,
Mm-hmm.
top 5. That then that top 5 will come. Then again I'll make a duplicate of it. Then
Mm-hmm.
I'll edit it as an bottom 5,
Mm-hmm.
and then again then I will join join that into a uh, I can set it into a parameter.
No, I didn't get the last part. How you are going to show both the things at the same time? You are going to set it as a parameter means how can you set something as a parameter?
So I'll add it into this yeah, I'll add it into a parameter function, top 5, top and top 10 and top 5 and bottom 5.
You'll add it in a parameter function. Okay, right. So I guess since you mentioned you worked on different dashboards, is it possible to hide a dashboard?
to, to hide a dashboard.
Mhm.
Yes, it is possible.
How will you do it?
We have an option on the right hand side to hide a dashboard.
Really? Have you
Yeah,
have you tried it?
actually, it was a long time when I used it, but
Okay.
don't know now.
So means hide it from whom? From whom will you hide? If you are hiding it, then why you are creating it?
Oh, if basically, if you want, if I'm creating a dashboard and you want me to hide it again,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, so we can just uh, it is a you can say sorry.
Okay, not a problem. So why do you need LODs?
We need LODs for sorting data into the granular levels. That means dividing into some small in getting into details.
Getting into details. Okay. So how often do you use LOD?
Uh, to be frank, as of now, we haven't got any condition to use. I have not personally used it.
Okay.
So I'm not practical. I haven't done it practically.
But it's a very important functionality that Tableau has given, right? Because of
Yes,
that,
yes.
most of our day-to-day activities are sorted right now because you do not have to logically go and build everything. So don't you think you are missing on something if you have not used it in your 50 plus dashboards that you have created?
Yeah, that might be my miss, but I'll definitely try to uh, get. I'll definitely try to get on it and learn about that and use it practically on my dashboards.
Okay. So when you are building a data, what is your thought process once you get a data set? What are the things that comes in your mind to create the visualization? And this is my final question for today.
Okay, so as soon as I get data from my clients or my manager, so first of all, I think whatever they need, first of all, I'll check the requirements of them, what exactly they need from that data. So what I'll do is I'll ask them to give me a note of that what requirements do you need from this data. So after getting all the requirements, so I can see what are the things we can do and how can we present that in different manners. For example, in kind of a pie chart or a donut chart or a that waterfall chart or graph chart, tree chart, whatever. So we'll and the other thing is we'll try to maintain this the color combination of that. It should be more visually. It should be very good. Whenever if any person is seeing that
So that is
dashboard.
when you are creating your visualization, right? I am asking about the data. So when you get the
Yeah,
data, definitely you need to think about the output, that how I'm going to present the data.
right.
Instead of how, I would like to know about what are the things that you check in the data source.
In the data source, first of all, we check all the data is correct or not in that. So
Mhm.
if is there any blanks, the headings are proper or not. Sorry.
Okay.
So the headings are proper or not, or what, and the link. For example, there is a heading name, but in names that the names are properly mentioned or not. There is a alphabetical a numerical number in between. So we need to rectify that before preparing the data.
Okay. So suppose there are duplicates in the data, duplicate records are present. What will you do to remove that? And that is quite a common problem, right? When we connect to the data, there are a lot of duplicates that we get. How
Yeah.
do you handle that duplicates?
So for removing the duplicates, we have an option for to remove the duplicates in Tableau.
Means there is no, means what is that option to remove the duplicates? There is no button, right? When I click remove duplicates, it will remove all the duplicates. Tableau won't be able to identify the duplicates on its own.
Yeah, but I'm so sorry, I'm not able to recollect it
Okay.
right now.
Okay, not a problem. So, Maqsood, I'm done with today's interview. We'll meet very soon with the feedback session.
Okay,
Hope you will check this video and go through the details once again. Okay, and try to figure out
sure,
a few answers of questions that you missed. And I'm very sure in next interview you will improve a lot. Okay,
sure, I will.
thanks.
Thank you very much.